It was supposed to be an adventure, a weekend escape from the monotony of our lives. Alex, Mia, and I, armed with flashlights, ropes, and a sense of daring, had decided to explore an abandoned cave just outside of town. It had been sealed off for years, rumored to be dangerous, but that only added to the allure. The entrance was hidden behind thick vines and moss, as if nature itself wanted to bury it. The air grew colder as we stepped inside, the daylight quickly swallowed by the darkness. Our flashlights cut through the shadows, illuminating jagged rock walls and narrow passageways. The cave seemed to hum with an eerie silence, broken only by the echo of our footsteps. "This is amazing," Alex said, his voice tinged with awe. "Creepy is more like it," Mia replied, clutching her flashlight tightly. I didn't say anything, but I felt it too, a heavy, unshakable sense of being watched. We ventured deeper, the passages twisting and turning like a labyrinth. Strange markings appeared on the walls, etched into the stone, symbols none of us could recognize. They looked ancient, almost ritualistic. "Who do you think made these?" Mia asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Probably just some bored kids messing around," Alex said, though he didn't sound convinced. The deeper we went, the stranger things became. The air felt heavier, and the sound of dripping water echoed louder than it should have. At one point, I thought I heard whispering, but when I turned to look at Alex and Mia, their expressions told me they'd heard it too. "We should head back," Mia said, her voice shaking. "Come on, we've barely started," Alex protested. "Don't tell me you're scared." "I am scared," Mia snapped. "And you should be too." Before we could argue further, the ground beneath us shifted. Loose rocks tumbled, and we fell into a lower chamber. The fall wasn't far, but it left us disoriented. When we regained our bearings, we found ourselves in a cavern much larger than the passages we'd been exploring. The walls glistened with moisture, and in the center of the chamber lay something that made my blood run cold. It was a skeleton, partially buried in the dirt. The remains were small, almost childlike, and the tattered remnants of clothing clung to the bones. Around the skeleton were more of those strange symbols, drawn in what looked like dried blood. "Oh my God," Mia whispered, backing away. Alex knelt down, examining the skeleton. This is real. How long do you think it's been here?" "Too long," I said, pulling him back. "We need to leave. Now." As we turned to find a way out, the whispering returned, louder this time. It wasn't just an echo, it was voices, distinct and overlapping, speaking a language none of us could understand. The temperature plummeted, and our flashlights flickered. "Run," Mia said, her voice barely audible over the whispers. We sprinted through the darkness, the path twisting and splitting. It felt like the cave was shifting around us, trying to trap us. The whispers grew into wails, piercing and desperate. At one point, Mia screamed, and when I turned, she was gone. "Mia!" Alex shouted, his voice cracking. We doubled back, calling her name, but there was no sign of her, only her flashlight lying on the ground, its beam flickering weakly. "We have to find her," Alex said, his face pale. But I knew, deep down, that we wouldn't. Something had taken her. Something that didn't want us there. We pressed on, desperate to find an exit. The wails gave way to laughter, high-pitched and childlike, echoing all around us. Then we saw her. A figure stood at the edge of our flashlight beams, a girl with tangled hair and hollow eyes. Her skin was pale and translucent, her dress tattered and stained. She tilted her head, staring at us with a chilling curiosity. "Who are you?" Alex managed to choke out. She didn't answer. Instead, she raised a hand and pointed behind us. We turned, and the walls of the cave seemed to come alive, shifting and closing in. The passageway we'd come through was gone. When we turned back, she was inches from Alex. He screamed as her hand shot out, gripping his arm. His flashlight clattered to the ground, and in its beam, I saw his skin blacken and decay under her touch. He fell, lifeless, his body crumpling like a puppet with its strings cut. I ran. I didn't look back. The whispers chased me, the laughter echoing in my ears. The cave seemed endless, but somehow, I found the entrance. I burst into the daylight, collapsing onto the ground outside. I was alone. I don't know how long I lay there, trembling and gasping for air. When I finally looked back, the entrance to the cave was gone, hidden once again behind the vines and moss. But the laughter, that haunting, childlike laughter, still echoes in my mind. I've tried to tell people what happened, but no one believes me. They say the cave doesn't exist, that it's just a local legend. But I know the truth. She's still in there, waiting for the next group of explorers foolish enough to disturb her eternal solitude. Like, subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell icon to never miss a scare.